Well, looks good. Starting in the top left-hand side of the map here. Playing as the red undead player, it's of course 120. This craft board, by the way, thing look at the top left-hand side of the screen is looking pretty good. I'm really happy I got that. So thanks to Neo for sending me that. And his opponent is the Ukrainian Night Elf player. It's of course Foggy, starting on the top right-hand side. With, by the look of things, gonna be opening with some Ancient of War creeping. We'll see if 120 can do better than Happy, who just got 3 outs, sadly for him. By a life that was just unstoppable. I think it's a really cool story, actually. If I mean, either player, like I don't want to, hate on Foggy. Obviously, I'd be very happy to have a non-Chinese and Korean qualify for the top 4. But if 120 here wins here, we not only have one player of each race, but since they all play the same matchup, at least on their side of the bracket in the quarterfinals, then we would have the guy, in live that beat Happy in a Night Elf versus Undead 3-0. And then we would have 120 who won against a Night Elf, potentially in the quarterfinals, and then same thing in the other semi. Because it was the same matchups. There were 2 Orc versus Human on the other side of the bracket, so I think it would be really cool to have that happen. Looks like Demon Hunter is going to be the choice here. And on the other side, the Death Knight. Once again, guys, make sure to show some love to our sponsors, Ting, Matcherino and ToD. I guess for ToD, for the most part, it will be hard because they're a China-based brand that makes keyboards and mice. They are Sky's brand, actually. He gave me a mouse, which I quite like, over when I was in Shanghai, so maybe someday they'll start shipping internationally. I don't think it's the case yet, but a really nice company. I'll show the ad video in between the breaks, usually. And then you have Matcherino, which is a crowdfunding platform for this kind of tournaments. Thanks to them, we were able to crowdfund the prize pool up to $6,000 from a starting $3,000 from our sponsors. So thanks to everybody who donated as well. And then you have Ting, a mobile phone provider that only asks you to pay for what you use. So that's pretty useful for the people who are very often around Wi-Fi, because then you usually don't use too much internet data. And that can help you save some money. I saw already a couple customers from Ting in the chat mentioning how happy they were about it. So 120, Unholy Aura, creeping here in the start, going to be chasing a little bit on that one Archer of Foggy, who definitely teched pretty. Oh, he's leaving the base with the Wisps. He teched pretty fast, I think. 4, 7, 8. So 8 Wisps. So that I think one less than Life gets before teching usually. So he teched a little bit faster, but I think he realizes Wisps might be very exposed soon, so he's just going to evacuate his base with them. Would love to get level 2 here real soon. Started taking quite a bit of damage. I think 1 or 2 detonate here if you could land on some of these skeletons. 4th Moonwell now on the way. And not able to kill any unit here just yet. He's kind of walling these units away. I think 120 as well very smartly realizes that this is not doing any damage and he's going to lose a lot of units if he commits too much to it, so he's just going to evacuate for now. Okay, that one skeleton won't do much here. Huntress Soul should go down very soon here. Usually you'd want to start that when your tech is halfway through done. Trying to land a surround here, and he gets it. That's going to force a TP right there, unless he can kill the skeleton and then get out. Oh, he gets out, but Unholy Aura is there. Oh, that was so sick. I would have lost patience and TP'd here for sure if I was Foggy, but it's better than that. Pulls back. And Huntress Soul is going down now. Tech is on the way across the map. Really nice save here by Foggy. Definitely one of the absolute best known Chinese and Korean player, if not the best. Had a really good performance earlier in the tournament in China. I think I watched a little bit. I think that was Gold Championship.
A player's forces are under attack.
And he's doing us proud here for sure. Going up against 120 now. That's a whole other beast. Trying to get us around on one of these archers. He's going to get that one for sure here. Closing in on level 2 really fast. And he almost gets another one, but doesn't quite get it. Foggy able to evacuate at the last second. And with that tier 2 about to finish here. That's going to be a tree that's finally attacking here and helping defend against this. But 120 is not slowing down here. Just keeps on going forward. Gonna go for the surround on the Demon Hunter that's barely a little bit too far away from these Moonwells, but he sets himself free here with some nice snipe on one of these ghouls. This is the moment where if you're Foggy, you wish so hard that you had Boots of Speed, because then you could chase everything. But Panda finally comes in there. And he's gonna try to snipe some of these ghouls here. Another Breath of Fire here is gonna be prevented. And behind his double lore starts for Foggy. Black Citadel on the way, Lich as well for his undead opponent. Slaughterhouse should follow this up pretty fast, yeah, as soon as he had the gold. So very good at spending his gold and wood here is the undead player. And the map presence here is quite good, I think, from Foggy as well. Couple wisp everywhere. Gonna make sure he gains some extra vision here with Ultra Vision. Still a level 1 Death Knight, so not bad. Well, that's the initial Enchanter 4 actually. He moved it all the way there. Because I was like, yeah, this is full hit points. But yeah, that one didn't take any damage now, remember. Okay, so with the Death Knight about to get level 2 from the creeping that's going on across the map, I think he's looking to try and land some good death scores. Wherever he can. There is no Wisp repairing here, so this tree is going to take a lot of damage. He's going to hire some mercenaries. Okay, that's a dead archer. Why didn't he coil? He was going to coil and then didn't. Okay, this one needs to hit some trees. That Death Knight is being super annoying. And Lich as well, now he's heading across the map with a spider too. Foggy's creeping here has been ruined by this. He's literally chasing a dead Death Knight he barely cannot catch up to right now. He's gonna have to mana burn it a couple more times to then try and get these creeps. But Foggy completely disengaged here from these creeps for a second. Goes for another mana burn. That one Troll Berserker could be exposed. Coil Nova available. But he pulls back just on time here like this. And now he can just keep up with the mana burning. And then resume that creeping there in a second. So very patient Foggy here. Realizes what he needed to do. Pull back. Another mana burn here being used. But I mean, he had to start mana burning that Death Knight from full mana. So that's a lot of mana burning he needs to do. He's got only one more. So there's still going to be a Coil and Nova available here because it's only mana burn level 1. Only tasking 2 Dryads and the Demon Hunter to chase this a little bit. And then behind this, gonna resume finally the Ancient of War creeping on the other side. I don't think he wants to, yeah, he doesn't want to creep that. Frenzy on the way, Destroyer upgrade as well. I think he's just gonna creep that. I don't think there is any point in trying to creep jack a Night Elf that will already be done here pretty much with this camp. So 120 doing finally some of his own creeping. And behind this, most likely we're going to see spiders, statues, and it's going to be Fiend Destroyer being used, much like Happy tried to use earlier. What did he get? Claws, +1, not bad at all. Gonna get some extra damage in. Scroll of the Beast here being picked up by an undead player. That could be nice actually. Like you can't really expect Night Elf to have any dispel, even if they are abolished somehow. It will only be for a few units, so this ghoul's gonna be able to do some extra damage potentially in the fight too. Level 3 and 2 being rich now. Gloves being picked up. Another Wisp here gets caught, so a little bit sloppy here by Foggy to leave so many of those out, but as long as he's reaching his levels and he's not dying, he's definitely doing something right because Foggy is such a threatening opponent. Naga 3rd here being picked up by the undead player, so looking to try and basically take out whatever unit he's targeting at the front, whether it's a bear or a Demon Hunter. He was attacking that with a statue here by accident for a second. I think that was the Road of Necromancy. And it's going to be trying to steal that one camp here over there. Foggy needs to be careful. There is nothing yet against Rejuvenation, but the Bear Master upgrade is only starting now actually. Wow. Pick up. Oh, he was trying to steal the item. That was a circlet that was picked up by the Death Knight, closing in on level 3 really quick here. And behind this we've got a Boneyard on the way. So 120 not only gets a Naga 3rd, he also still goes for a Boneyard here no matter what. So I think his goal, basically like his Naga, gives him a lot of fighting capability right now. If he can level that as well, it will be really good. I think his goal is probably going to be to take map control creep as much as he can. He already stole one of the middle camps, so if he takes the other one, it's great for him. Stay on 50 pop, and then basically just save a lot of money. You know what I talked earlier about. Like if he can get a lot of money from the creeping on his side of the map, then he can go straight into like 70 supply and then attack a potential second base from a Night Elf player. It's going to be very hard for Foggy to do anything about this. He can go across the map all he wants. Like he starts getting coil novad or even slowed by the Naga there, and he might be forced to TP back. Keep in mind he has no invul, no staff. He's going to get an Invis potion. Why though? Because like he can't pick up any items. So maybe a last second steal with a hit, and then a mana burn or something, and then he tries and get out. But that's very risky. Like I said, there is a Naga available, and he has no staff. Like he would die super fast if he does anything here. So he's just gonna kind of stalk this army here to make sure where it is. I guess he's using his Demon Hunter as a human shade right now.
Players' forces are under attack.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be able to do much here with this. I love how, by the way, 120 stays full mana. Like he knows that if a fight happens soon, he's gonna need that, so he doesn't waste it on any kind of creeping. Looks like he was thinking about a creep jack here a second ago. He has abolish, by the way. I'm a little bit, okay, there we go. He's gonna chase 120 away here, just kind of show his presence, and maybe go for that camp himself to try and steal it with the panda. Keep in mind, the Demon Hunter is the one with the TP here. I like this. He went for an Ancient of Wind, by the way, like so he can get he can add Hippo Riders to his composition to try and take out the Frostworms faster and destroy us as well. It's going to be very hard for 120 to do anything about it, especially if he doesn't know about it. Alright, he's trying to steal this camp. Demon Hunter is kind of far away, actually. Remember, he's the one with the TP here, so a lot of units could die before Demon Hunter is in position and ready to TP. Ooh, he staffs one unit. Demon Hunter TPs. A little bit of the army was far away. Had a minimal amount of units lost here for Foggy. This could have been scarier, but he did lose a few. Okay, well, that is a lot of Hippo Riders queued up. I guess he just wants to, instead of getting more Dryads to snipe the air units, he just wants to get a lot of bears on the ground and then Hippo Riders be left to deal with whatever air there is. The goal for 120 was to get Lich 3 and Naga 3 maybe for 4 Lightning level 2, and I think he's going to be able to get it here now with this camp plus this camp that are available. An Invuln definitely wouldn't be too bad though. For Foggy right there. Panda closing in on level 4. Yeah, level 3 Naga now as well. So, wow. Okay, that's going to be attacking fast. Uses another Invis spot here. That's a big investment. If you look at the economy of Foggy, it's not particularly rich. 70. I feel like the roles have been reversed here. Undead is on 70 supply against Night Elf on 54. So some Dryads now start. How many Frostworm? Oh, it's only one. He's getting a second one. It doesn't look like he's going to wait for it though. Kinda getting right in there. Maybe a mana burn? This guy's getting slowed without being revealed actually. That's kind of funny. Yeah, this is not going to do anything here. I don't think you can kill a demon in this situation. And you remember there's a Typhon Panda for Foggy right now. These Hippogriff Riders cannot come soon enough. He gets +2 finish just now, by the way, which is a big deal. That's going to help a lot. Panda getting in position to try and take out some of these ghouls. He's going to go for the combo. Drunken Head, Breath of Fire. Demon Hunter being the main unit being targeted here. Maybe he can just click on these wells. Yeah, he's just going to do that. Being the one that's fighting at home. One of those bears being targeted down here. And Dryads trying to take out one of these Frost Worms here. Not quite able to get it. The second one is going to get chased down. There is a couple webs available, but they're actually they're zoning back here. This Hippogriff. Another Breath of Fire here lands. He's got an Invuln potion, but he's just going to pull back here to try and maybe click on some of the Moonwells. But the Dryads on the ground are kind of running out. They are the only units on the ground here for Foggy. And they are being targeted down by a Lich, Naga, and a couple Fiends that take them out so fast. 40 supply to 62 now. It feels like he needed more bears and maybe to staff as well the rest. Double staff and just keep on staffing out the low 8 point spare, because that fight to me feels like it was a big win for 120 here, even though Foggy didn't do that bad 42 supply chasing down 62 here. I don't know if it's a good idea. It probably is not. Demon Hunter is going to take a ton of damage here. Staff it out. The last second. Panda, can he get slowed? Oh, actually he pulls back the Frostworm. I guess he was scared. So, Hippogriffs now being made once more. And I'm not sure what the plan is here for Foggy. He must be getting a little bit discouraged in this game. I think maybe let this base mine out and then walk it there and take this base and kind of try to survive until then. But with another Frostworm coming out, it's still going to be 2 Frostworm to deal with these bears. Like, they kill them so fast. That's the problem. I really think that 120 here is in a great position. He can expand himself pretty easily too.
A player's forces are under attack.
And not having any Moonwell juice is not going to help as well for Foggy. Second base now starts for 120, who must be feeling so confident. Kept his Destroyer alive here this whole time. Pulls back a little bit, re-engages. And Foggy moves back in there with the Demon Hunter. He's going to have to pop that Invoke Potion pretty fast. Mana burns the Lich here for 100. Those bears, they just evaporate here against these Frostworms. Demon Hunter taking a lot of damage. He's going to be able to staff this out here at the last second. But there is no Moonwells available. Staff the Panda. Nope. Just going to tap out. And just like that, 120 takes map number 1 super convincingly. Those Chinese players, they're just making it look easy here. I don't see any other way to say it. Like, they just creep the map the way they need to. They attack whenever they need to, and they just win right out with really good micro here. That was pretty flawless. So we're going to be headed to map number 2 in a second. And if I got it right, it should be... Actually, yeah, the whole map veto process was like really strange. So it might be Amazonia unless 120 says like he thought it worked differently again. But a very convincing game here for sure. I think maybe, I don't know, Foggy needed to creep a little bit more, ideally, and like it just looks, whenever one of these guys play live earlier, it just looked flawless, and then now 120, same thing. So if these two play against each other, it most certainly will be interesting, but hopefully Foggy can put up a fight here, because that looked insane, that one game, what we just saw. So just like that, 120 is up 1-0. Keep in mind it's a best of 5. Yes, he got his color. Perfect. I wonder what his nickname means, 120. Like, why would you pick a nickname like this? I always wonder, like those players that pick a number as their nickname, well, what is exactly the reasoning here behind this? But I'm sure he has his reasons. And yeah, Amazonia going to be our next map. Happy had a pretty, maybe his best game earlier against Life happened on that map, so I've got good hopes here for this to be a good game. Oh, Gaming, by the way, not doing these games live today, but if you're a French speaker and you want to watch them with the French cast, they're going to be showing them tomorrow. Back to Warcraft is doing the German stream. Low Light is actually doing the Korean stream here today with, he's got around 700 viewers, a little bit less, so not bad. Happy doing a Russian stream. So it's pretty nice to have this many language streams here available for these tournaments. I think Foggy is actually streaming as well this. Hopefully he has set up the delay. Just gonna make sure real quick. Ah, poor Foggy, that was a tough game. Ooh, they were waiting for me to ready. My bad, guys, my bad. Alright, game number 2. I don't think he was like super one-sided, but it was just, everything was a little bit better here by 120, so Foggy, hopefully he's made the right adjustments. And he knows what to do here from there, because otherwise, if every game is like this, it's going to be another 3-0 there. 120, I mean, if you are an undead player and you can beat orcs the way he does, there is hardly any argument about him being like one of the absolute world best, if not the world best players. So we'll see if he can continue there. Here we go. Ah, there. Finally an opportunity to invert the scoreboard. Look at this. Wait, it didn't work. Score. Boom. All right, starting the top right-hand side, playing as the red undead player. It's, of course, 120. And his opponent, playing as the yellow night elf, it's Foggy. All right, let's see if he can do better here with what I'm guessing is going to be a similar build. Life was not interested in this game, he just left. So build order-wise, everything's always pretty much standard. It really feels like both of these players, and in particular in this matchup, like even the players that we saw earlier in the quarterfinals being Life and Happy, kind of have their standard build that they like to go into, and they don't really divert too much from it. Maybe there is some maps where it would make sense to change one or two details, but for the most part, it's always going to be Death Knight, Lich, into a Naga a lot of the time. Sometimes you can get that Naga second. There's always going to be a Node of Corruption in there. Then the real question is whether you get Frostworms or not. And in the last game, 120 did, and he did super well with that. So I really like his build, to be honest. We saw Happy earlier not really get a Naga as third. And because of that, whenever he went on the map and crept, it was very hard for him to basically either defend against the Demon Hunter harassing or even fight against the Night Elf army. Whereas because 120 gets the Naga almost no matter what, I would assume he gets it every time because he went so well for him. And not only like when he grabbed it, it looked like you just can't attack into this as Night Elf. Because there is a Naga with Frozen Arrow, everything that you send forward will be slowed, and then you will lose it very fast. Okay, I see someone in the chat said, I think 120 said in his interview that his Chinese name sounds very similar to 120 in Chinese. I wonder what his name is. I guess I'll look it up later. That's a ring +2. That's the item that nobody wants to find.
Players' forces are under attack.
Let's see what 120 gets. Gets lightning shielded here pretty fast. Does he get the same thing? He didn't. Oh, I thought he had burned it for a little bit, but no. All goods. Extra whiz being made, Moonwell as well. And Demon Hunter is going to start on heading across the map. He's getting a Nerubian tower actually here. Maybe a little bit worried about some kind of demon walking in there and killing a bunch of acolytes and then tipping out. I'm not sure. I guess it can help later on. It's not a super expensive thing to get. Oh, that's cute. Just asking these two guys here to take out this small little priest, and they're going to be able to get it. And that gives him his level too. That was perfectly calculated. Prevents his opponent from creeping as well now for the time being. And Tech is now going to start. Finds a wisp to send a death coil into before getting mana burn for one more time for -11. Wisp presence, not too bad here on the map from Foggy. He's got a couple positions covered to have some vision with it. And where is he gonna? Looks like he wants to creep a little bit, but I don't know about this. No, yeah, it shouldn't be this base, right? I don't know if he wants to creep jack his opponents or something, because 120 is moving in that weird position there where it looks like he might want to creep this camp, or at least try and take the item and then get out. I think 120... Okay, no, Foggy might have spotted it. That wisp. Oh, he's in a position where he can't be attacked. What does he get? Boots. Oh, that's Boots of Speed right there. So he's going to chase everything and try and snipe some of these ghouls. So it's going to be for 120's blocking here to try and prevent that. I guess losing one ghoul for getting this big creep plus the item is worth it. And behind this, creeping is going to be resumed pretty much instantly here by Foggy. Knowing that he's going to be left in peace for the most part. I mean, sure, Death Knight can come back in there, but he's not going to be able to do much without mana. Behind this, graveyard is on the way. More ghouls are being sent out on the map to do some more creeping, I'm guessing. Where's the Hunter Soul? There it is. Oh, he makes it in range here of that. So I guess he can put a Wisp here right behind to make sure he can use that later if he needs to use a Revelation, maybe by Shredder. If you start losing a lot of wisps, it can be definitely worth it to get a Goblin Shredder, I think, to reinforce with that. A Shredder usually equals pretty close to infinite wood economy, as long as it doesn't get taken out and that you're not using it to fight, like you're going to be getting a lot of food. And he goes for the same thing across the map here, trying to get one of those items, plus the one creep level 5 that will give him a lot of experience. Look at this. 288 to 369 gets a Rob of Magi. I'm sure the Lich will be delighted here with picking that up later. Or maybe he can even sell it. I think these boots you sell almost every time. But maybe a Rob of Magi he might just keep for the Lich. What do we get on the other side? He can't click on it? No. Ooh. Oh, he gets it! A regeneration potion. And 120 grabs it just right under Foggy's nose here. I think he couldn't click on it because there was a creep in there, so you maybe he might have to press the hotkey like this to turn, and then you can click. But it's very hard in game to actually be able to do that. It's a high pressure situation as well. Like you see 120's hero closing in on you. It's obviously pretty tough to react this fast. And look at the amount of harassment here that he's able to put out with just one single Death Knight like this. Just chasing all of the archers away, and now he's going to move in with the ghouls to try and get some more done as well. That's not taking a beating, but he has the regeneration potion, so if he gets away, might be able to regenerate all of his hit points, or a lot of his hit points and mana. Lich now on the map. Sacrificial Pit, Slaughterhouse as well, so it's just going to be, I think, a similar build to what we saw last time. Demon Hunter gets stunned here. And he's just gonna, when a mana burn here, that Lich, it's 1 pixel away actually from that level. Just looking to try and steal some of these guys here. Gonna start transferring some of the items onto the Lich. He's gonna drop a Sentry Ward to see exactly what he's gonna be up against. I like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, he should be able to see like both the Sacrificial Pit and the Slaughter. So even like spotting a Shade later is not totally out of the question. Like if you time it right, you just reveal your entire army, and then there's going to be a Shade standing right there. You take it out, it gives you a little bit of experience, and denies vision from your opponent, which is super important. Because a 120 with vision is a pretty scary thought. I think he would love to snipe these archers there. And there is no... Yeah, the shop always comes in pretty late. Yeah, he gets one at least. And that's level 3 on the Death Knights with some more Death Call available. Not bad at all. In the meantime, 120 crap this. Statue now gonna rejoin him for some mana regeneration. It looks so smooth. Like I really want to see some first-person VOD at some point of these guys, like 120 life and stuff. Because everything that they get is perfectly on time. Like obviously he's gonna go and pick up an orb here real soon. Boneyard is now gonna start. And the Greater, oh, that's pretty good. Really good item here. Picked up by the Ukrainian Night Elf. What do we have on the other side? Sentry Wards himself, so not bad either. I think he used the second one in the middle of the map here, did Foggy. Demon Hunter is going to be stretching here a little bit, trying to land maybe another mana burn. Yeah, these undead heroes in this game not going to be walking around with too much mana, so it might be, like as opposed to last game, I think it would be really good for Foggy to actually go for fights this time around. The problem is that he doesn't get that many Dryads, he gets a bunch of bears first, and without Master they're still going to be exposed, but tech-wise he was pretty fast. Shade reveals one of those Sentry Wards there. And Destroyer upgrade is now on the way. Does Foggy actually reveal here, knowing that the Shade could be right there? Definitely could happen. Pana being level 3 is pretty nice, I think, to have. I would have expected, actually, the Demon, yeah, to have the greater healing, because he's the one that's going to be targeted more often than not. He's the one who has less hit points, 750 as opposed to 900. I don't know what these guys are doing, but they shouldn't be fighting this. Shade comes in, he's like, what are you doing? Who is this guy? And why is he losing archers to creep? Checks the expansion, sees that there is none. Mana burn in the meantime was used on a Death Knight. Going for the Lich could be a little bit difficult because you might get Novad first and then surrounded. So even though there is a staff here that's a Demon Hunter that would die very fast, to Orb of Corruption and units, he's gonna go for it because the Lich was stunned. How fortunate. And looking to try and get a creep jack here, but 120 is too good for that. He pulls the creeps all the way back and makes sure that doesn't happen. And when he's gonna get the first Frost Worm, that's when things are gonna get really interesting. Oof, this Shade giving him a lot of information as well. Some more upgrades on the way. I can't tell who's winning. Like, to me, this is still very equal. I feel like whoever manages to win the next fight obviously is going to be in a great position, but they might not even choose to fight here anytime soon. Yeah, okay, it's very risky here. Frostworm could slow that demon forever, which might have to stop, but he gets a mana burn at least before anything would happen. And Foggy is... It feels like he's scared to expand, and he should be, because 120 is so scary. Like, the timing he gets everything at. 120 doesn't even respect, actually, the upkeep. He breaks it immediately. He goes straight into 60. Like, he's always ahead in supply. It's so sick how good he is. It seems like he kind of smells like this could be happening, by the way. He's moving in that position. No? Yeah? Oh, this could be bad for Foggy. He might have to pull back immediately here. Upon seeing this, he's going for the golem. Death Knight gonna move in position here to try and steal this. Can he get it? Who gets it? I think he might have gotten the XP. Here did 120. But the item was grabbed by Foggy at least. Yeah, not bad by Foggy actually. Because he even like injured a lot of those units, chased some back. I didn't see his XP go up, so I think he might not have had the XP though, which definitely would have been nice. If you get 4-4, it's obviously going to be very good for you. No Naga third in this game. By 120. He's choosing to go for more additional units instead, getting an Abomination, one more Fiend, and a second Frostworm here to try and fight potentially very soon. But yeah, getting an Holy Aura here is going to be pretty nice for Night Elf. Is going to be much faster on the map. He's going to be able to keep up with the undead. Did he see that, or he's trying to land a mana burn? Just creep, I guess. Very Dryad heavy and upgrade wise actually. Not even +1 for the Night Elf player, which definitely is very useful there. 120 moving in there. He's got a mana pot on Death Knight, which is nice. Tome of Agility going to be picked up. One Wisp is there. Such mean golems. He's going to move in position to try and creep jack this. Tinker third was hired. What? How would you go Tinker? I guess he wants to stun the front line, or he goes for Pocket Factory to have some extra tanking capability. This is weird. Yeah, I guess Pocket Factory is likely here. He has already enough range damage. Maybe he wanted to get some more of the front. Yeah, he's just gonna throw it down there. 120 is like, I feel like he could even get like Pit Lord if he wanted to here. Demon Hunter taking a ton of damage. He's gonna have to be staffed out, and that's gonna mean this camp goes to 120 here. He's got complete map control right now. Picks up a mask. And that gold burnt away. And level 4 actually on that Panda here is rich because of that. There's no staff available on Demon Hunter, but the one on Panda is gonna be on cooldown for a little bit here. Bears are dying so fast. And these Hippogriffs, they are not doing that much, to be honest. Demon Hunter being targeted here a little bit. Finally gonna get that evasion level 2, but every single time Foggy's units move inside of the spiders, they start getting taken out super fast. Tinker already reached level 2 here because of all of this, the creeping plus the fighting, where some of the units here of Foggy have been dying. Keep in mind there's no TP here. He could get chased down if he loses this fight. Greater healing gonna be forced here in a second. And Panda has run out of mana here. He should not be fighting anymore, but the problem is that he can't pull back. And he didn't have a mana pot. He's gonna stuff it out, I guess. Ooh, playing with fire here a little bit. It's gonna have to regroup, get some more Dryads. And the supply lead is still 120s here completely. 63 to 44. Just insane performance here from the undead player. Level 4, 3, almost 4, and 2. And there is really not much else to creep here left on the map. Maybe this. It's funny how every time, by the way, one of the Frostworms dies. Only one of the two, but guess what? He just remakes it. As long as you have at least 2 Frostworms in the fight, you're just going to take out bears way fast. And I think that the micro in a lot of those fights has been superior by 120. I really, like if you have to compare lives, obviously it was a different army composition because life wasn't going for hippogriffs, but these dryads, as soon as they run inside of the army of 120, he targets them with the spiders and takes them out super fast. So now he's going to want to look to try and get the last few camps that are available on the map. Demon Hunter going across the map to steal the invuln away, I think, from his opponents. Yep. 120 goes there, sees that there is no invuln available. That's pretty nice because that means, well, actually he already has 2, well. But it's nice to steal 1 more because if you can limit the undead player on the invuln counts, then maybe you can take out his heroes somewhere out there eventually to win the fight and the game, but it's looking very unlikely here, especially like when you don't have any upgrades like this. Bears and hippos are still 0-0. But 120 didn't prioritize upgrades either. He's still 0-0 as well. What an absolute bloodbath of a game here where both players just wanted to make as many units as possible and clash, even though there's been quite a bit of creeping happening. 120 getting furiously in there. So usually you'd land, yeah, you'd let the webs be used, then you pull back outside of the range of those hippos, and then you re-engage. And look, those dryads, that's when they move towards the Frostworm, but they take one of them very quickly here. Demon Hunter, 100 threats. He's going to be forced back. There's still no mana pot on the panda, so it means he's going to run out pretty fast here of mana after using 1 more or 2 more. Breath of Fire, Demon Hunter having a tough time healing. There is still a Pocket Factory inside of his base. 1 Frostworm escape with no hit points. And in the meantime, those dryads are dying left and right. Panda with no more mana. And 120 is manually targeting all of these Frostworm. Oh, he almost saved the Frostworm and TP'd on time, but not quite. So Foggy finally with a big fight win, closing in on level 5 and 5. I mean, I say big fight win. I guess he chased 120 away, but the supply story is still the same. He's still on 40 supply against 59. It's going to take a long time for Undead to recoup here, though, because he's going to have to sit next to the statue, wait for his mana to go back up very slowly. And he's again getting another Frostworm, but this time neither of these two, of the 2 that he had, survived. So he's only going to have 1, and if he waits for a second one, then he's going to have to wait for a long time. Keep in mind, re-expanding is not really hard for either player here, because the Undead's gold mine here unsummons automatically, which gives you a lot of gold to then restart another one over there, potentially. And the Night Elf main base, after this 2000 you have in mind, he could just walk it there and take that base. In which case, it becomes harder to fight too, because Moonwells are there, but he's having to take the fight this far away, and he has to walk all of this back with the Demon Hunter and stuff. So another Invis spot here was used. Did he steal the invuln again? Foggy, if he was 5-5 now, I would say like he would have a pretty decent chance of winning, but because he's 4-4 and he's that much supply behind his opponent, I think it's going to be really tough for him to win this. He's trying to basically out-hippo rider the air units, mana burn everything on the ground, and then win a long-term fight. But he's kind of broke, to be honest. Like the creeping just went 120's way the entire game. And since he never had any mana pot in these fights, Foggy just kind of runs out of mana. And in the last fight, it happened on time. It happened at the time where 120 was running out of steam and had to TP out himself. But if, by the way, I don't know what he picked at his extra level, but if he picked the, whoa, the shade comes in. It's gonna start to stuff out. Yeah, I was gonna say, oh, you know what he should have picked? The rocket thing. If you pick the rockets, then you can actually stun the Demon Hunter when he's stuffing out. That would be sick. And then if he canceled the stun one time, imagine if he had it now. That would have been a Demon Hunter dead. But I guess he wanted to boost his Pocket Factory. Yeah, it's going to be really tough for Foggy to win this. Like Death Knight will get level 5 super fast in the next fight. It's already 4. Tinker now being level 3 as well. And yeah, he waited for a second Frostworm and now feels safe enough to maybe take another base. Boom. He's getting the tree upgrade here, is Foggy. Maybe to try and move everything towards that second base when he finally takes it, so that he can fight with those. And I think he's gonna break up keep instantly because he's got some more units queued. Might be smart to let this mine out first and then get units. I don't know how, but it just feels like 120 is richer than Foggy the whole way, and I think that's just because he crept more and preserved most of his units alive better with death cores, pulling them back, and just the micro in general in these fights too. That shade must be so annoying too, like you kinda know it's there, but there's not much you can do about it, like even buying a dust of revelation would not necessarily be worth it there. It's even in patrol, so if you use that at the wrong time, you won't even reveal it. Triad production starts again. That's a lot of hippos, actually. These air units will die really fast, but then dealing with the ground is still going to be a big problem for Foggy. Ideally, you'd like I said, to be level 5-5, to be getting closer to level 6, and then you have a much more realistic chance at winning the fight. There is, I think, maybe like one small creep left there, but it's too small and irrelevant for anybody to actually go for that. Well, pretty cool to see this, like for the abominations, to kind of poison everything and do some damage over time to all of the units of Foggy. There she goes. He's getting some more bears as well. He caught back up on supply very nicely, actually. It's now 68 to 73, and interestingly enough, no upgrade still from neither player. Yeah, I think 120 can just transfer all these acolytes. He's gonna have one extra one. Maybe he can bring that in the fights here. For some dark ritual on that leech to give her some extra mana back. So let's look at the composition. We've got 5 bears, 3 dryads, a lot of hippo. And 120 seems about ready here to go for a fight. I think he's going to absorb energy from these statues that have a lot of energy. And then go for it. 2 abominations. Like, this feels like both players really have gone for as close to perfect mix as it gets. Oh, the shade was blocking, so he tried to Breath of Fire but missed. That is so funny. He missed, actually, that shade. Like Neo in the Matrix. Using wisps here, actually, to win a fight could be nice. Keep in mind... Oh, he's gonna do that? Undead doesn't have any TP here. So pulling back is gonna be very difficult here. He's gonna web one of these hippo riders there. Death Knight level 5. He's gonna get one step closer to it. Forced to pulling back here. Hippo's getting right back in there. And Foggy is actually scared to use any roar here on his bears because he knows that that could be absorbed into energy with those destroyers. He's going to go for another mana burn here on the Death Knight. Not having that level 3 though is a big deal. Having a really hard time properly engaging into this army of the undead, the abominations at the front. Doing so much tanking, being super annoying. And kind of poisoning everything slowly but surely, even including those hippo riders that were put on the ground by the webs for a second. 120 though is being chased back. One of the fiends here could die. If he can get level 5 and 5 here, this could be a big win. And that force rim almost goes down. One more hit and it would have. And he doesn't quite get it. He gets the surround on the Lich though. She has an invul. Can he hold position? He just lets it die. What? What just happened? He somehow got a surround on the Lich, but all of his hippo died. That was the oddest fight I've ever seen, and both of these force rims now have been saved. All he has to do, I guess, is sit back there, let everything heal, remake the Lich, and 120 is gonna be okay. Really showing us how to play against this hippo style here. That was so solid. He can stuff out of there, I guess, with the... Oh, that's level 5 too, by the way. Maybe one Breath of Fire, then he Staff of Preservation out the Panda, and then Staff of Teleportation out the Demon. But no, he's choosing to pull back here. Oh, he saw that the Lich was rebound. Invuln is available, though. What a sick game. Hippos moving right back in there, but they're going to be targeted. 120 doing a fantastic job of realizing they are low hit points units. And he takes them out every single time. Going to be going straight for the Lich once again. Demon Hunter, though, under huge threat. And Panda is taking a ton of damage as well. And he can't even double staff, because the Tree of Life is far away from the Moonwells. So units who are pretty much fighting by themselves here for a very long time. He gets the Lich! I missed that. Demon Hunter, get back here. Where's he gonna staff it on? Breath of Fire. Yeah, that Panda is really low too. What a ridiculous game here. Is he just gonna try to re-engage, or? Death Knight getting very close to a death coil. He wants to rebuy again. 120 is too rich, and he just doesn't lose his units almost ever. Look at it. He even saved this one again. God, level 5 and 5 now for Foggy, who's below 50 supply. 78 supply here for 120, who just does not care one bit about losing his list. He just rebuys her once again. That ghoul is on strike. Tinker has done quite a bit actually. It really feels like he was a solid choice. So much tanking, pocket factory, every single time getting right in there. It's like the perfect amount of damage to sustain that he needs. Taking out those abominations actually kind of out of the question. The Monitor gonna take a lot of damage here right from the very start of this fight. Breath of Fire being used on pretty much everything. But again, the Hippo Riders are dying very fast whenever they come in. Another mana burn here on that Lich. Death Knight doesn't have any Death Coil. He's just gonna give one of the invuln pots here to that one Lich, which is still gonna be under threat here. He gets mana back so fast here, thanks to those two statues healing and giving mana. Dryads though, doing a little bit of running around. Foggy, he's trying to somehow win this game, but 120 is just so good at pulling back the injured units and not really losing that much. 78 supply to 49 still. And all of those units, they're poisoned and they keep going down on hit points. Dropping down all the way to 1 every time, which is the undead dream, to just move in there and finish everything off. That shade is so sick. Sees everything every time, and there is nothing that Foggy can really do about it. Restarts Hippo production. Almost level 4 on that guy. Dark Ritual here on one of the skeletons. 17,000. Like, this is never gonna end, I feel like. They're just trading. And I see some people asking about me saying she for the Lich. You know, in French, everything is either male or female. And Lich, for some reason, I don't know why, but I associate with female. We say une Lich in French, even though I think it's Lich King in English. So yeah, call it cultural difference if you want to. Alright, another statue here being made. That's going to be to transform into a destroyer, I think, this time, because he's already got 2. These statues in fight, like, I really thought he should just absorb mana and then transform them, but to be honest, for them to be standing there and giving back hit points plus mana has been a huge part of why 120 has been able to keep so much alive. Like these Frostworms, every single time he pulls them back on time too. To be honest, I think now would be a good time to get some upgrades, like even a +1 for like spiders and Frostworms, but he's choosing to just get extra items instead. And finally, the map has been fully crept, ladies and gentlemen. Not a single creep is left on it. He's gonna go straight for that tree. I don't think there is a TP, right? Yeah, he wants to shut down the mining here. Foggy. He's gonna move right in there, go straight for the fight here. Demonitor at the front. You don't want to be attacking alone. Gonna go straight for some of these mana burns. These bears just die so fast, and 120 just keeps on using web, pulling back. Fiends are dying really quickly here though. His grounds. I love the way the abominations are being ignored, by the way. You can't waste any time attacking these guys. You want to go straight for the spiders, the units that are exposed. He runs in there. Panda. Oh, he's going to land some huge breath of fire here. One of the Frostworm actually dies really quick. But the Demonitor is being slowed at the back of this Night Elf army. He can even shop on the way, get an invuln. Lich, he's really low. If he can mana burn before a Nova. Oh, he's targeting it. Invuln is used on time, and that Nova is actually going to be popped here on some of these Hippogriffs. And just like that here, Tinker gets level 4. Foggy is still on the chase here, struggling to really kill anything. Demon Hunter under threat. He's got an Invuln, closing in on level 6 actually, if he could get that. Breath of Fire now is going to be available. Can he land it on everything? Starting to pull back here a little bit. He's Foggy, but he's going to get chased down. There's no Frostworm left. So nothing will really be slowed, unless he can land a web on some of these hippos. No, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it! Rip. Foggy, a little bit of a mistake here, sending back one of these hippos. Saved his base, which is actually still very low, but It felt like he won that fight. And now all of a sudden we're gonna go back to turtling, like you wanna let everything regenerate for a second. Lich closing in on level 5, by the way, is really scary because that Nova level 3 is no joke. Like it's already good on level 2, but level 3 is even better. Oh, he left the... Actually, who got the invuln? I think maybe Foggy. Yeah, Foggy bought it on the way back maybe, or the way in. I mentioned that he might be able to. So all of a sudden, the supplies have been evened out a little bit more. Like it always felt like Foggy had way more. Sorry, 120, but now he's got 66 against 50. But there is really not much economy here from Foggy. Maybe he should get some more Dryads. Like getting this many hippos, like doesn't seem to... Well, I guess he needs to be honest. If he only has 2 and he moves in, those are going to get webbed, and then 120 pulls back and then re-engages, and then those guys are never going to be able to do anything. So he needs to get more hippos. The problem is that he only has 1 Ancient of Wind, so they take a very long time. I don't know if you want to be giving free XP here to a Night Elf, by the way. When he's getting this close to level 5 here, if a couple units are killed, and he gets level 6 on that demon, like you're going to be in for a treat, 120. Especially the Panda, like you can... Cyclone heroes, get a surround. That's how games are finished usually. When you reach those level 6 on the zeros here from the Night Elf. That poison, by the way, on the Abominations was a great choice. Like it did so much damage over time to a lot of these units. I don't know why he's mining with a ghoul here. Doesn't really matter, I guess. 120 posturing forward here, looking to try and get yet another engagement. Maybe in a second. One single Dryad is actually set. As the ghoul goes back to send. Oh, okay, that's why he was putting the pocket factory there. He's trying to threaten. These do a lot of damage on buildings. 120, look at this. He's gonna pull back, like always. Webs, these guys. Novas them as well. And since they can't attack the air units now, he just kind of turns around. He's taking out every hippo every single time like this. Was that a roar used a second ago? Yeah, I think it was. Statue's going to be a little bit exposed, but Panda, like always, is running out a little bit of mana. Maybe he needs to put the double staff on that one Panda instead of the demon. The demon's actually very far forward, so... Oh, the Breath of Fire kills a lot. He might have to staff out the demon here in a second. Does that, but he's going to have to run all the way back, and he's still being slowed, by the way. And I think 120 might have done it. He turns around, he's getting rid of most of the army here. Foggy right now, the statue is still under threat. Even level 6 heroes, if you've lost your entire army, are not going to be enough for you to win this sort of game. Demon Hunter needs to staff right back in there right now because, I mean, the entire army is gone already. This is... 120 is just an absolute beast. Panda on the threat, could use invuln pod, but even then, the entire army has been sniped.
The player's forces are under attack.
And that one Dryad, you better get level 6 for the Demon and Panda fast because you're running out of time, mates. He's just going to turn around. Panda dies without using the invuln, and just like that, 120 is going to go up 2-0 after a really long game here. Wow. Absolutely masterful. This whole game. Foggy made it as close as he could, but when you're facing an undead this good who has way more supply than you the whole time, it's just a little bit too hard, to be honest, to win these fights. I'm a little bit speechless, I have to say, at the performance of our Chinese players today. Life going up 3-0 against Happy, making it look easy. And Foggy, he put up a hell of a fight there, but still 120 looks unbreakable right now. So I think we're going to be headed to Twisted Meadows here for our third map. Which hopefully won't be the last. I really want to see Foggy start and bring this back, but when you're down 0-2 against some guy that just won't die, keeps on having more than you, keeps on attacking and taking those fights perfectly. Because those fights, they're not easy to take either. You know, like it's so tempting to just do attack move and then try to micro your spells and stuff. But right now it's so much more than that. The initial way that 120 engages is perfect. Then he pulls back after webbing the units. He always novas the right units, which is the hippo. And once all of the hippos are dead, he basically can't really lose anymore with his air units being unthreatened for the most part, other than for the Dryads. So then all he has to do is pull them back, wait for the Dryads to overextend and go forward, and then target the Dryads with his spiders and leech. And then they die in one volley, all of them. Really, really quick. Alright, so just waiting on the game to be hosted there. And we're going to get going with our third map here between these two. 120 is up 2-0. The quarterfinals have not been the closest of series so far. We've had 2 3-0s and 1 3-1. And right now we've got another 2-0 here, so we'll see here if that continues. I'll show you real quick. Here's the unupdated brackets, only for the last match, but yeah, we had 3-0 Lin against Sinfi. TH00 went 3-1 against Fly. Life went 3-0 against Happy just now, and now 120 is up 2-0 against Foggy. He's looking really good. Remember, every top 4 player, by the way, makes it to the money. The Matcherino page is right under the stream if you want to have a look and potentially donate, help out with the prize pool for these players to win a little bit more money. I think right now the winner of the tournament gets around $3,000, second $1,800, and then third and fourth place around $600. All right, we got the colors right, and I think pretty much everybody's ready. That matchup was smooth actually so far in terms of being able to start quickly. Only the map veto thing happened where there was a little bit of confusion, but other than that, we've been able to get those games started pretty fast. So quite happy about that. If I was Foggy, like, I think it would be very hard for me to, I don't know, stay positive here after these games, but he needs to. That's the only way he can come back here somehow into this. I really think Twisted Meadows definitely, I think, going to be a better map for him to do some creeping and stuff, but he put up a pretty good fight last game. Again, it really feels like maybe being able to get one extra camp as opposed to 120 getting that camp would have made a difference. I mean, obviously it's very easy for me to say that, you know, sitting in my chair here and not really playing against either of these guys, but you have to think about these things, you know, that maybe could have made a difference. 120 is just a little bit too smooth, to be honest. With the mix of creeping to aggression that he has is just insane. And he's able to snowball every single one of these actions perfectly too, every time. Like, remember when he moved in with his Death Knight and chased away the 3 archers that 120 was trying to creep with? That was a big move there because it slowed down Foggy a lot from getting that camp. He had to chase the Death Knight back with all... or he had to run away with the archers, chase it down with the Demon Hunter, and then the Panda was trying to get a camp alone with one Ancient of War that took forever, and then Foggy came back and stole some of this, so every single one of these moves were important. If Foggy lets... or rather, if 120 let Foggy breathe a little bit more for like 1 minute, it would make a world of difference in the end. Maybe Panda, you know, would have been level 5 a lot longer, Demon Hunter as well. I really would have liked to see a mana potion on the Panda, but Foggy was kind of broke, that's the problem. He never really had that much gold to work with. So again, it's one of the things where it's very easy for me to speak when I'm observing here, but for the players, he probably judged it was like unrealistic for him to actually buy one of those and have enough units at the same time. So I think it's time, guys. We're going to be jumping into the next game. We're going to be on Twisted Meadows and starting in the bottom left-hand side of the map here. It's, of course, Foggy from Ukraine, playing as the Yellow Night Elf. Most likely going to be going for submission for creeping up there. And his opponents, representing China, it's, of course, the undead player, 120, looking absolutely dominant. And I'm sure Life is watching those games closely because if 120 wins here, he's going to be the one facing him. And he's also another Night Elf that disposed of Happy in the previous match. So I fully expect these players to keep on playing similarly here to what we've seen, but because of the positions here being so close together, there is also some serious potential for some extra aggression, especially from the undead player. I don't think as Night Elf here you're really inclined to attack it to an undead there, but say for example, if 120 realizes that he's doing well in the start and that there's a bunch of archers to kill and he could do a lot of damage, he might grab a Naga, head towards that location, and try and snipe a lot of the archers of his opponent. We're not going to have a Warden. Foggy is not getting that crazy just yet, so it's just going to be a Demon Hunter. I wonder why Foggy, by the way, insists on playing Hippo. Like, obviously, I feel like against most players, he might have some success with that, but by now, like, I don't know what his conclusion to him losing the games the way he did is. Maybe it is that he just didn't play well enough, he was just behind, that it didn't matter what composition he was going for, but I would love to see him try at least once to not go for hippos and instead get more bears, and in particular more dryads to deal with the air units of his opponents. Because I think that's what we saw Live play with earlier. He's going to try to pull the creeps away here to try and delay the creeping from the Night Elf, and he's actually going to succeed here for a little bit. Death Knight, if he can get there early, might be able to steal one or two, but realistically shouldn't be able to. Well, actually, no. He's delayed this so much. The Ancient of War is running away, so that one ghoul alone here did quite a bit. And he's going to be Unholy Aura. And Foggy actually gives up on creeping that camp. He's afraid of being rushed here by some sort of ghoul Death Knight, so he just pulls back, and he's not going to be creeping it at all. So these locations already, like, I mean, I really feel like this is much better for the Undead player to be able to achieve that in a game like this. Additional Wisp Moonwell here was made too. Okay, well, these guys are going to be annoying to no end here. The chase that never ends. Demon Hunter behind Death Knight with Unholy Aura. Ghouls are now going to start moving out. Yeah, this is what Foggy was afraid of. If you go for the Ancient of War creeping on that location, ghouls can come in, kill all your archers, and then usually you lose the game pretty fast, or it starts going really bad for you. Did he spot that one? Yes, he did. Time to run away. Detonate. Oh, he puts it on one of the trees where you can't really reach it. Demon Hunter gonna have to be careful there. I'm not sure what he went for level 1. Did he actually get mana burn? Because he hasn't mana burned yet. I haven't seen any miss on the Demon Hunter, so maybe not evasion. He must have gone mana burn. I don't think you go immolation here ever. 120 is so good at this as well. Like, he almost rarely lets his archers get away. Looks like he's going to be able to get at least this one. And keep in mind, no boots were available yet, and Foggy had to be in his base defending, so for him to have boot of speed and actually get some of these ghouls would have been really hard. Gonna be denied here with a suicide. Oh, can he block? Shoot one time. 120 trying to get away with this one. He could even deny. Oh, it doesn't get two though. Not bad. So Death Knight on 0 experience. Foggy definitely salvaging the situation. Like, sure, he lost an archer, but he's surviving, guys. He's a survivor. Don't do it. Maybe he wanted to get surrounded there. I'm not sure. Oh, one of these archers gets surrounded. That's going to be a snipe. No, unless he can click. Oh, he gets it healed. So sick. Goes all the way around with this other one. These guys need to be attacking though at the same time. These skeletons helping a tremendous amount as well. And again, this archer slipping through is bringing in a wisp here to maybe try and detonate on these skeletons. Will bring him closer to level 2. Foggy in absolute survivor mode here in game number 3. 0 experience Death Knight, so he's definitely achieved something here and not taking any damage early on. And now would be a good time to start creeping this, but I think 120 knows that. So he's going to hang around this area, try and make sure he doesn't let it happen. Don't do it! Oof, that was close. There is no wisp nearby as well, so the skeletons can't even... He can't even... No! He started it! Why do you do this? Oh, I guess he's got Panda now. But still. Was supposed to start it a little bit later. Trying to save one of his archers here. He could have blocked away! Oh, Death Knight is gonna get the archer. Okay, finally getting a little bit of experience. Needs to repair that tree here though. But 120 is so frustrating to play against. He must be like...
Player's forces are under attack.
But Foggy definitely salvaging the situation as much as he could here from the very start. Can he finally get that camp before getting slapped down here by this level 5 guy? He just keeps on sending ghouls here every time. Tier 3 now on the way, gonna start a slaughterhouse as well. And Naga, this is what I was talking about, because of the location, because Night Elf is still trying to creep this very first camp here. Grabbing a Naga here is gonna make this attack super dangerous by the undead player, who's now actually trying to take out the Ancient of War. Interesting. Yeah, he might have, I think getting Dryads here would be nice. I don't even think he should have started tier 3 this fast. Maybe get 2 Dryads first to chase this army away when it comes. And then go into Bears. But the thing is, Undead is taking really fast himself. Breath of Fire being used here on this Undead army, joined by a Naga. And in the meantime, we're gonna have statue production beginning in a second. Even forcing this repair here, like this is costly for the Night Elf player.
A player's forces are under
So funny to see a Death Knight Unholy harassing this much here. I think Foggy's fed up, he's gonna grab boots and chase this to death. If 120 sticks around, which 120 should be able to realize when he clicks on the Demon Hunter. He's even going all the way around right now. Oh, I think he realized there might be some creeping happening. Oh, this could be very good here. Because these units are taking a lot of damage right now. He's gonna get a ghoul. Nice. He's even gonna get the creep and now chase on down on the Naga. Not bad at all. But still, well, he's not mana burning, right? What did he get? I didn't see any miss yet. Maybe I'm just blind. He must be saving the mana burns. Like this is the only explanation that I see. I must make sense of all this. Okay, this could get dangerous here. A lot of ghouls were brought into the fights. Okay, now he's definitely gonna burn no matter what. I guess you don't need to mana burn a Death Knight with Unholy Aura. He's not gonna be coding anyway. Now would be a good time to pull back. Naga's gonna be slowing down this Demon Hunter. He could try to go for a surround here. If he just clicks on the Panda with the Naga, but he tries to go for some archers instead. Some Dryads are going to be joining the fight now. But there are statues on the other side. This is the kind of crazy game here that you get on close spawn location here on a map like this, guys. He needs to go heal with this already. And behind this, bear production has begun. I'm guessing he already has the initiate training. So they're going to have rejuvenation, but all alike on the other side. Lich, destroy upgrade is on the way.
a player's forces are
Because
under attack.
120 has been pulling so many gold from wood, by the way, his wood economy is going to be kind of bad. Look, he's only got 200, which is not high at all. No, why you do this? This is going to be a steal too, and this is going to die. Foggy, no! He had defended so well the entire game, and because of everything that happened, his shop was delayed as well. What is he going for? He's going to go for that Naga. Rejuvenation about to be used as well. Oh no, he doesn't have the mana. So 120 gets this too. And now he's got a Lich with Orb of Corruption. What is this? How does he do it? He just looks so solid in every single aspect here, every single time. It feels like it doesn't matter when he even gets his level. Like, we're so late in this game. He's finally going to get Death Knight level 2, but if you look at the situation of the Night Elf, he's equally super low on everything. Orb and staff here should be picked up. Oh, actually he has to go out before he even gets staff, because he wants to prevent that camp here from being taken. But that could end up being a problem here, not being able to staff out some of these units. Breath of Fire here going to be used pretty much immediately. Mana Burn being used on that Death Knight. And one of the Dryads here is going to be targeted. 120 never wastes time here on the high HP units. He always goes for the weakest, for the proper micro. In every single aspect, not having a staff here. That one, Dryad gets sniped. And you know what that means, right? A Panda this low, he should be able to secure that pretty easily if he goes for it. Not sure what that is. Like, I was just praising him for never making any mistakes, but he actually forgets one of his spiders. Here for a little bit, buys a healing scroll and an invuln as well. So not only is it going to be good for him, it's also going to be kind of bad for Foggy not to have an invuln. Yep, especially when that happens, Demon Hunter being targeted down. He has to staff. Ooh. As close as it gets. Rejuvenation into Moonwell healing, I guess. But in the meantime, look. This guy. He's a meat grinder. He's a creeping machine. Oh, that's going to be a cell most likely. I want to keep that against Night Elf.
A player's forces are
Foggy
under
moves
attack.
back in there. He finally wants to take the fight, but that's after the camp has already been cleared here by his opponent, who's got double healing scroll and invuln potion as well. That Demon Hunter just keeps on taking so much damage in every single one of those fights. He can even go for the bears now. Sure, that's going to get staffed, but he has to TP out, which is a disaster, because then now Undead can just resume creeping, and We're on Twisted Meadows, guys. If Undead starts getting heroes 3-3-3, then they can very easily go into more camps, 5-5-5 potentially. And it's going to be very hard just for the Night Elves to keep up, generally speaking. So, Foggy, I really love this start, but then in the moment he lost his Ancient of War there and started losing units there. It's not been going nearly as well here for him. And now, 120 is in full motion to just keep on creeping up until the moment he's happy and tries and go for a fight. Gets the Boneyard here as well behind this to go for some more Frostworms. Still has a Shade stalking every single move of Foggy once again, with which he's still very active all the time. He always moves it around. You'd have to be very lucky to reveal that one and actually take it out at once. Going straight for one of the big camps there. I mean, he's already got a Destroyer. He's going to absorb quite a bit of mana from it. Even remove the inner fire from some of these crypts. And, well, not bad. That means he can dodge mana burn. Meanwhile, on the other side, we're still creeping expansions, which are a significantly smaller camps. That's a good item, though, for the Panda. I talked about last game how he was missing maybe like one more Breath of Fire to really start on kicking some ass in those fights and take out some more additional units. And this time around, getting a mana pendant might be allowing him to do this properly. A Creepjack would have been nice. He's checking it. Ooh, okay, he's gonna go for the fight, but very late. This is gonna be taken out before, so this could be a big mistake here. Level 3 and 2 for the Night Elf player, who doesn't have double staff, by the way, this time. But, oh my god, he wrecks this army super fast. Death Knight already going very low. No rejuvenation available. And the staff is not used on time here from the Panda, so Demon Hunter is gonna die. Which usually at this point means an instant revive is used, because you can't afford to wait this long before remaking your Demon Hunter. Keep in mind, there is no TP available here for Foggy, so it's not like he could have TP'd, but he just staffed a little too late here. There is only one, I guess, good news, so to speak, here that I can see is that with forcing 120 back and forcing him to TP, he bought another TP there, and he's kind of like, he's not rich in this game. For the first time, Foggy's keeping up in supply. Actually, he's on 51. No! Detonate one Wisp. He's on 51 supply. Don't do it.
A town is under siege.
Okay, I think he detonated one Wisp. Maybe here. But he went down to 50. You need to only be on 50 here for as long as possible. Ring of Protection +4. Maybe one of the worst items that you can get there, but I guess if Panda gets targeted by all of the army, plus the Orb of Corruption, maybe he's going to make up for it. And have him survive a little bit longer. Foggy is on 52 supply. I don't think he shouldn't be going for hippos like this, like already breaking upkeep. He should be creeping a little bit more before he breaks that, but I think he's afraid that 120 has already broken upkeep and he's going to be attacking soon. And guess what? He has level 3, 3, and 3 with a lot of good different items. Scroll of Beast as well available. Whereas on the other side, we've got a Panda close to level 4. He finally grabbed the TP, I think. Is this going to be a Creepjack or... Yep. Look at this. That's when you know an Undead wants to fight. Transforms the Destroyer. And he's going to be headed straight for his opponent. Thanks to that Shade here, always knowing where he is. People's rally straight into the army. 54 supply to 67. Oh, he steals the Ogre. That's so sick. And he dodged one of the mana burn here thanks to the item that he got earlier. That's a big deal actually. Without that he wouldn't have had any more Death Coil. I guess he does hit this one. Mana Pod going to be used here to save one of the Destroyers. Foggy trying to save the situation as best as he can. War is going to be used. Oh, that Naga was blocked here for a little bit, but she's got so many items anyway, she shouldn't go down. Greater healing plus invuln and a healing scroll. It doesn't get any more sustainable than this. Panda being targeted. And if he's staffed out of there, could be in trouble. He actually TPs. Takes out one Destroyer first. I think he realized he was going to lose the Bears. Loses one here before actually going through with the TP. And a lot of those units were low, so I can't really blame him for TPing out. Did he find True Shot? Yeah, okay. That's when you regret not going for Mass Dryads and going for Hippos instead. Because those Hippos, they're not going to get it. They're going to get Vampiric though. Which is pretty funny if you think about it. So he sold True Shot Can't blame him for that. Really not that many Dryads. For it to be worth it, you would have to be on pure bear Dryad tech for you to want to keep this, I think. Double boot of speed. Just gonna want to drop one of those to the panda. I think, yeah, he needs to restock, by the way, on the invent pots, but I think Foggy will try and get this first. But on the other side, the creeping never ends from 110-20, and the items neither. He gets the armor aura here from the paladin. He's going to be getting this camp safely as well. And then behind this can do this, and basically go up to 80 supply in a second. Starts the ziggurat here to finally reach that. Whereas on the other side, we don't have any upgrades still. That shade, by the way, it's so crazy to think that this has followed Foggy the entire game. And 120 has always known not only where Foggy was, but he probably checked his items. Oh, he found another pair of boots. Okay, well, 3 pair of boots. Might be time to sell one of these. Where is he going? He wants to creep the island, which will be spotted immediately. Wait, did he have TP? I don't think he had TP. What does 120 do? Desperate times, guys. Actually, these units are super exposed as well. I guess he has hippos, so he's gonna take this out super fast, but... Oh, he has a TP, okay. And a couple moonwells to work with. You want to move this back, though, because if Undead enters your base through there, that's gonna die instantly.
Players' forces are under attack.
Foggy didn't feel safe out on the map, so he's trying to take refuge here right now. On the islands. That guy ate a Dryad, but he's gonna speed it out as it dies. That's pretty smart, actually. There's no creeps left on the map. Night Elf is most strong if they can get 5-5. What does he do? He goes for the island. Okay, that bear is gonna die. TP.
A town is under siege.
What did he get, by the way? Oh, that's terrible against destroyers. That's just gonna give them free mana. One of the worst, or probably the worst items. The worst item he could have had. Kinda blocked inside here. The one Moonwell actually survives here, and hippos are gonna chase super fast. There is not much air here. Where are these frostworms? There is only one single destroyer. When Abomination gets surrounded this time around, Foggy actually doing alright here in the start of this fight. He uses one of those bullfrogs. I don't even remember what they are called. 120 still trying to snipe all of the hippos at once. And the panda closing in on level 5 though. He's being targeted. Might have to stop that out in a second. Mana burns the Death Knight just on time. Breath of Fire level 3 here is going to land on a lot of those units. But so many of those Dryads, like all the low hit points units of Foggy have died. He's going to have to replace those with Dryads. What is 120 doing? He's kind of falling apart. Like he pulled his back because they were low on hit points, but he needs to send them home. And he's now on 60 supply to the 49 of Foggy. Is the first time this has been disclosed there. Please reveal one time. I'm so fed up with these shades, like following everything. This is ridiculous. Oh, he saw a statue there with a hippo, so he uses Breath of Fire and gets the one statue. That's level 5 for the pandas. That was really cool. Oh no, actually no, never mind. He was already level 5. I thought that was Demon that got level 5. He still needs to secure that, actually. I think like this camp there would do it for him. That was weird by 120, to be honest. He attacked without Force Worms, even though he was at least getting one in the meantime. Usually his composition was perfect. He always had 2 Force Worms to slow down everything and kill the bears. Whereas now he attacked and didn't quite pull back super fast enough. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think he's losing or anything, but for the first time he took a fight that I think wasn't the best for him. Those hippos having Vampiric Aura as well, by the way, they get some hit points back every single time they attack air units. If he gets 555 though, this is going to be pretty over. I think there's still a couple creeps left. He's getting the last few ones on the map. 120, definitely a lot more confident than a Foggy that's just kind of camping at home right now here. If Foggy could afford a TP, I think maybe he might have gone for the other island and then TP'd out after. But you don't even get that good an item. Like, look at this trashy thing. I can't believe he's actually chasing something with this. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, the statue is literally laughing at this guy right now. They last long time though, surprisingly. They last super long time. I'm pretty sure they can get absorbed by destroyers, so that's why it's ill-advised to use these guys. Is he gonna get just one for level 5 demon? Oh, he's gonna go for the big one. What the hell? Without dropping there, I'm going for the camp. Lose this one hippo. I guess maybe he wants to see what item it is. Level 5 demon is acquired. He's gonna go and pick it up. We won't know what item it is until it gets picked up. Oh, that could be bad. I think 120 realized what was happening. He's closing in on this army. I think Foggy might have vision. He must have researched. And he's gonna jump that tree. Okay, Demon Hunter is almost back. This could be the very important fight here that decides who wins. Tree is gonna get attacked really fast. And Foggy is gonna move right in there here to try and save it. Actually, he's attacking from a pretty nice angle. Nova being used immediately here on this hippo. Can he land some good breath of fire? So far it's been quite hard too. Let's see, it's been really delayed. Statue in the back. Trying to land all the mana burns that he can here on the relevant heroes. A Demon Hunter goes very low here from the very start of that fight. Keep in mind if he staffs it, it's gonna go right there, not inside of the base where the Moonwells are. So he might have to pull back the Demon Hunter and rejuvenate. He's gonna do just that. Where are those Breath of Fire? Demon Hunter gonna get targeted again! He might have to staff it back. Yeah, he does that, but I mean, that means that there is no demon inside of that fight now. And the Frost Realms again, they take refuge above those trees here where they're gonna be safe. Look at this guy, he has to walk all the way back before finally rejoining the fight, so having a double staff is actually really important. Because not only is going to have to walk back home, heal, he's then going to have to walk right back straight to this fight. And Demon Hunter is needed there right now. This statue keeps on healing the army. He could even give it some mana if he wanted to. Lich level 5. Could mean big trouble here for the Night Elf player. All of his bears are dying one by one. And I think this may be it here. 120 has killed the entire army of his opponent. Demon Hunter moves in there. Invuln is used on time. And I don't even think this demon can escape now because Frost Realm is going to keep on slowing him down. Death God is used. And just like that, this is going to be, I think, a 3-0 here for 120, who moves on to the semifinals, where he's going to be facing live. Wow, what a series here. I feel like no matter what race you play, if you watch this semi or this quarterfinals, you're going to be happy because every single race is going to be represented in the semifinals. And every single race that won their matchup, they basically put on a clinic. They showed us exactly how you're supposed to play in it. So that makes me really happy. Those were some really good games. I'm just going to upgrade the bracket real quick for